My name is Al Pisano. I'm a Technology Integration Specialist. I'm here to show you one of the key features of Google Apps for Education, that is Google Drive. Now make sure you're logged into your Google account. Once you are, you should see a Drive on the top left. I'm going to click on Drive. And real quickly I'll talk to you about Drive and the wonderful things it can do for you. We all know that Drive is a way to store your files, share your files, collaborate on documents. As we know, you can create a document, a presentation, a spreadsheet, a form, all of these really wonderful tools. I use Google Drive in a unique way, and I've shown a lot of my teachers and districts the same way. I like to use Google Drive as a digital portfolio. Now, as you know, that cloud storage solution allows people to save, upload, download, review, do all sorts of things from any location they're in. So it's a nice way to give documents or submit documents, or specifically for digital portfolios, student work. So I want to show you how I set up this student work folder so that if you can imagine, you have a Google Apps for Education account, you have teacher accounts created, and you have student accounts created. Well, a teacher has, 30 students in his or her class. Those students can now give or submit work to the teacher or to their own folders. Imagine a digital portfolio that allows teachers and students to collect work, store it on Google Drive, and then review and reflect on that work over a year or 2 or 3 or their entire educational career. So what I've done is I've created 5 mock students and a mock teacher, just to show you how you can do this using folders in Google Drive. So if you can see right here, I have student work folder. So I'm going to click on that student work folder. And you'll notice in this student work folder I created 5 mock students, student 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now for our purposes, I'm just going to click on student 1 to show you some of the things I've done. So if I click on student 1, you'll notice I put in first grade, second grade, and third grade folders. Now if I go over to student 1 on the left side here, I drop this menu down and show you share, share. Notice I have access to this folder as the teacher. Al at alpisano.com is my own Google Apps domain name, but also student 1 has access and he or she can edit it. So that's great, right? But if I go to this main student folder and look at the share, you'll notice all the students can edit for that main folder. So I gave access to all the students in the main folder, but as I dig down to these subfolders, only the students that are supposed to edit, share, and upload will be able to do so. So I created all those sharing rights in those folders ahead of time, and imagine student 1 is named a certain student. So I go in student 1's folder, and now I go into third grade, and this is just an example of how you can set it up. You don't necessarily have to, but this is one way you can. So I set up, just for our purposes, first, second, and third grade. So if I click on third grade folder for student 1, you'll notice I have different subjects in here. I also have teacher assignments. If I click on one of these subjects, you can see this student has submitted 2 assignments, measurements at home and rounding and estimation worksheet. If I go down here to science, I can see this student has created a Google presentation on how gravity affects us, and also recording effects of change. If I go down to social studies, you see Pen Pals with Google Plus and Google Hangouts is the document that they created, and you can tell it's a document because of the blue. And then cultures around the world, and you see that they created that assignment as well. You'll also notice if I click on that ELA folder, you'll see Unit 1 spelling words, a research paper on Abraham Lincoln, and this is all student submitted work. And it could be not just one single student, this could be project work as well, where they submit one assignment but there's multiple collaborators on there, and that goes back to that share piece. I could share one document with multiple students, or they could share a document with other students in the class, and they could be group work done that way. And as you know, Google Documents has that revision history. We could see exactly which students did what work, which is a nice feature with Google Docs. The last thing I have there, the last folder, is teacher assignments. As a teacher, I can put assignments in there, and these students can have access to all of these assignments in here. Now notice in the teacher assignments folder, all of the students can view. They can't edit, which means they really can't change the documents in there, but they can view those assignments. So this is a nice way to disseminate information and assignments so that the students can go in there, collect their work, and then do their assignments and save it as their own copy in their own folders. You'll also notice that I color coded the folders just to make it a little easier to differentiate the information, the students, etc. I've renamed all these folders. That's another feature. I named this folder ELA just by dropping this down and clicking on rename. So there's really so many different things you can do with this. It does take a little bit to set up, but once you do set it up, I think it's well worth your time. Especially with all of these new assessments coming down and APPR, I think it's a great tool to really be able to show progress of student work from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year to the end of the year, or from year to year. Something that you could really show. You see a student that did some really nice work in the beginning, but then as the year goes on, they do even better work, and they do even better work towards the end of the year. Well, this is a great way of allowing students to collect their work. You can evaluate what they've done, and also students can reflect on their own work. They could decide what goes in their digital portfolio. They could decide, what is the best. They can edit those documents and make sure it's good enough to stay in their digital portfolio. And it's a great record, something to bring them maybe someday to college, and really a great tool in Google Apps for Education, and specifically Google Drive and Google Apps for Education. Thank you for watching this video.